What's up, everyone? Welcome to the most positive pop culture podcast in the multiverse, Metalcore Nerds, where each episode I have a guest from the podcasting or music community. We talk about the latest and greatest in entertainment. I'm your host, Sean Mott. Today, we're talking about our favorite movies of the year. You can see him this month on tour with Boundaries and Stick to Your Guns. My co-host this week is Mike Sugars of Psychoframe. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Dude, so stoked to have you here. We have weirdly known each other for many years through the internet at this point.
7, probably?
Pretty long time. And for people who don't know, I used to be a booking agent back in the day. And I used to book Church Tongue many moons ago. And I want to tell you this moment I had this year, or I guess last year, whenever you guys you guys never broke up, but you guys kind of all did different things and then cumulatively came back together recently. Yeah. And when that happened, I was like, I dropped them as a band years ago. And admittedly, I felt so bad even after doing it. But when I saw you guys come back, I felt dumb for it years later. So I just want you to know that. I hope that brings you solace, knowing how dumb I felt.
I mean, no, that's fine. I don't know. Because the truth is that we were not stirring anybody's pot for years.
Right.
We were doing our best and we just wanted to be out there and playing. And you're not the first booking agent that's ever dropped me. So the first time it ever happens, you're like, I'm ruined. I'm done. But by that time I was like, it's chill.
Yeah, I mean, I've still talked to most of you guys after, so I didn't feel like it ruined anything, which is nice.
No, it's totally chill.
Which is nice. I just remember I texted Chris, and then after I was like, oh, I feel so bad. Oh my god! But I mean, you guys won anyway. I don't even book bands anymore. So, who won that battle? Not me.
I guess. So
yeah.
But yeah, that band's still going. We're still doing shit.
Whether you return to the show, first time listener, thank you so much for tuning in, or whatever way you choose to indulge in this conversation, whether you're viewing it on YouTube or listening to it on your favorite podcasting platform. Best thing you can do, subscribe wherever you're listening or watching. Helps the podcast continue to grow, helps more people find the show. And if you want our daily fix of Metalcore Nerds, you can catch my ramblings on the internet at Metalcore Nerds, anywhere on the social medias, X, Threads, TikTok, wherever. It's all there. It's all there if you want to check it out. Mike, I want to hear, is there anything new you've been listening to lately that you want to shout out?
I do. So the new Sanguishugabog song, Abhorrent Contraception. This song honestly probably changed my life because I love the band already. I saw them live for the first time probably 3 years ago. I already liked the band going into it, but it was just my first time and they were awesome live. I have friends in the band, yada, yada. Right. But when I found out that they were doing a record with Kurt Ballou, I was already super excited because that to me, that's a good pairing. It's an interesting pairing. So I've been waiting for this album, these songs, and this first song is unbelievable. The mix is so good. It's so them, but it feels so new to their entire catalog. And the song is just unrelenting. It's over 5 minutes, which I don't think many bands can play over 4. I just think many bands stay under 4. Yep. Just do that. Few bands are allowed to play past 4. Bog is one of them. And this song is unbelievable. And it has everyone in both of my bands just churning the gears because we're just oh my God, they did it. This is Mozart could not imagine this. I just think it's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. That band's so cool. I've seen them live a good handful of times, and they're always very rad and very punishing live in a good way, just sonically punishing. And I love that. I love that. So it's cool to keep them, because what you said, it feels them, but it feels new. That's the best compliment I think you can give a band ever. You know what I mean? That's the goal, right? To stay true to yourself, but just get better. So good for them.
Yeah, it's elevated. It's just good. So if anyone has not heard that song, or you are already into the band and haven't listened to it, they just put out their best song.
Fuck yeah. I loved seeing the behind the scenes of them teasing the music video a few weeks ago. I was in a field. Okay. I can fuck with that. I can fuck with music video in
Yeah.
the field. Let's go.
Never done
Yeah.
before.
No, never. Super new.
Never.
Can't believe they're the first ones to do it. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty insane, actually, that they coined that. Now everyone's gonna start doing it. If you want to know what I'm listening to, you can check out the Metalcore Nerds Pull Spotify playlist. You can check the link in the show notes below. It's all the stuff that I like, and once I hear it and I like it, I put it on the playlist. Really simple. But if there's some, there'll be some music like that you've probably heard, and probably some bands you haven't heard. So go check it out. And it's not all heavy stuff. I put other stuff on there too. So if you're worried about that, some people come on here and they're like, I'm not in a metalcore band. Why am I on the show? And I'm like, it's just a name. It's fine.
Yeah.
You don't need to worry about it.
You're here, man. Yeah, you're in.
You're a nerd and you like music. That's the criteria.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple, pretty easy. So diving into pop culture stuff, I want to know what got you into TV, movies, comics, whatever you involve your life in your spare time. What is the thing that got you into that stuff?
I start with like cartoons and anime. So of the Toonami era. So like,
Okay.
and I am a loyalist Cartoon Network fan. Like there's like some things from Nickelodeon definitely made it on my radar. Like I love SpongeBob. Everyone loves SpongeBob. But there's like things from many things from Nickelodeon or Disney like that didn't really come on my radar. I was a Cartoon Network guy. So like I was into cartoons and I was into anime, and then like getting into like TV and movies, I was exposed to good movies since before I can remember, because like I was 7 years old when I watched the first Predator. And
sick,
because like we didn't do like censorship in my house. Like my house, like where I grew up, like everyone cussed like sailors. And then I get in trouble in elementary school because I'm walking in saying something like my parents would say, and they're like, what's going on here? Why'd this kid just come in here and just say this was bullshit, But so it before I can even remember, like I'm watching good stuff, and I'm watching Predator, I'm watching Alien, I'm watching, and then in comedy, I'm like watching Tommy Boy, like the Chris Farley era and stuff. So like I really start there, but like when I like actually started falling in love with like shows, like outside of that, like I like, this feels like a weird answer, but like I actually think the show is like amazing. Was 24, the Kiefer Sutherland show.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like deeply into that show, and I would watch it every single week with my parents when a new season is airing and stuff. So like started with like 24, Prison Break. Banger.
Man, that show.
Banger.
Whew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were some things that like my parents liked that I didn't really get into, but those two in particular like really got me. And then like I started watching like The Office with them. By this time, like middle school, high school era. And then like, we loved going to the movies. So, and my dad would take me to like the movies that I knew he didn't want to see, but I wanted to see, which was nice. Like, seeing Pokemon 2000 in theaters, like, my dad was like, this is a nightmare, but like I had an awesome time. So like that was chill. That like first Hulk movie from like, I want to say 2004.
The Ang Lee one?
Yeah. Yeah. He and I both walked out of there. 2004, I'm in the 5th grade or 6th grade or something. We both walked out and we were like, that movie sucked. But like, yeah, that's where it really started. Cause like that, like my parents were like way into movies and TV shows. So that's definitely where it begins. And like, I still, to this day, I still love a flick.
I love that. Yeah, because it's hard when I try to get guests for these kinds of episodes. I know people aren't as psychotic as I am about media. And I think now I kind of have a leg up on people because now I get paid to write about TV. So it's I've kind of just like went even deeper into that corner.
Sure.
Because it helps enhance like a part of my job. But I still know people don't casually watch as many. Like I feel like I'm like, man, I've been slacking on movies this year, and I looked at how many movies I've watched here, and it's like 25 from this year.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I guess that's probably
You're
a lot more
halfway in
than
the
the
year.
average
That's
person.
really good.
Yeah, and I'm like, man, I'm slacking. And but I'm like, I think about like if for the normal person, they probably go to the theater like a few times a year, and I'm like trying to go like once a week. So that doesn't happen all the time, but I try to go a lot. I love going to
Yeah.
the theater. It's a weird thing because it wasn't really engrossed in my brain as like a kid. It was more like a teenager thing. Like my brother started working at movie theater, and then he would just let me into movies, so I would just go to movies because I had nothing else to do. So let's get to the top 5. So I'll let you kick off your number 5. What do you got? Number 5 movies of the year so far.
Number 5, I'm going Final Destination Bloodlines.
Oh, this almost made my list, but please carry on.
It's good. Like we haven't had a
So
Final Destination in a grip, like,
long time.
and this is the most Final Destination movie you've ever seen. It's Final Destination. If you've seen one, you know how this is going to go. It's brutal. Like there, like so many like butt clenching moments, like cool kills, also like callback like in a big way to the logs, like the truck logs, like that. Debatably, like almost everybody's like most memorable scene because like what do you think the ratio is of people driving on the highway? They get behind, a truck with logs on the back, and they're like, nah, lane switch. Just really, really brutal stuff. Like my favorite kill, high key, was the trash compactor.
The way they set it up was
Slow.
so sick.
The way the setup was so good, but also that kill is slow, and like you just see it happen, like so brutally. And yeah, the setup was awesome because like our main character calls it. He's like, look, this thing's gonna fall over and it'll hit me. I don't know, maybe hit this guy, and then the soccer ball like it kicked it in, and then it happens like that. Like the movie just knows what it is, and like they just execute it perfectly. And if I'm correct, this is our last appearance ever for
Tony Todd.
Yeah, Tony Todd. And it's short, but it's awesome. His last little bit of dialogue, you're just like, it's like he knew, and it was just cool.
The crazy thing about that is he was very sick at the time he filmed this, and I watched an interview with the directors, and the directors were pretty much like, hey, they kind of had a blanket for like how they wanted the scene to go there, but they're like, straight up speak from you as like what you want to say, and that's what is in the movie. So it like literally is him saying like goodbye, which is like, it was already a crushing scene, but like knowing that just like it is like the nail in the coffin of like, damn, wow, what a profound moment for him to have in something like that. Beautiful stuff, which is wild to say about a Final Destination movie, but it's true. It really is.
Also, just the way that they like tied up like his multiple appearances through the series, and they're just like, this is why he's still around, by the way. Like this is how he's like the expert on death and everything, and you're just like, that's nice. Like they just like it, and it was such a it was cohesive, it was nice, but it was simple all at the same time.
Yeah, it was like exactly what I would have wanted out of a modern Final Destination movie, for sure. Like they take the lore, pay tribute to the lore, but it's not, there's like mentions of things, but it's not a cameo fest of past things. Which sometimes I can like, and I can be down with it if it has a narrative purpose to it. But if you're just kind of just like putting someone for a pop in the theater, that's when it kind of like loses with these like nostalgia, like legacy sequels. That's where you can kind of lose me in those, and lose a lot of people in those kind of things too. And the way they added to the lore was so dope, and how it all connected, and the even just the premonition, so to speak, in the beginning was such a cool new fresh way to do that, because it's like those movies like hang on that opening scene, you know what I mean? Like those are that's the thing to do. And I remember like first watching it and being like, oh why are we in like the 50s or 60s? I'm so confused. I thought this was a modern time movie. And because there's, especially with horror, I'll usually only watch like the first trailer and then I'll stop watching. I feel like horror trailers give way too much away. So I just usually just stop watching them because I'm like, usually you only need to tell me a thing and I'm in. It doesn't even matter. Even with most movies, the only trailers I really watch are like superhero movie trailers because it's like I don't care at this point. Like I watch all the breakdown videos, so I don't think the trailer's going to give me anything in a way that someone theorizing isn't going to give away.
Right.
But mostly everything, I'm just like, sometimes I don't watch any trailers at all. I'm just like, I know I'm going to go see it. Don't care. Don't need to watch the trailer. I'll go in as fresh as possible. But yeah, that totally took me back though. The opening scene, so cool. And I rewatched the whole franchise leading up to that movie because I wanted it to be fresh in my brain. And I think there was a few I haven't watched at that point too. But holy shit, Final Destination 5 has one of the craziest plot twists I've ever seen in a movie in my entire life.
I don't think I saw 5.
I'm not going to tell you what it is then. Go watch 5. 5 is fucked. And I'm telling you there's a plot twist, but there's no way you're going to guess what it is. It is actually insane. It's like probably under 2 my favorite, or I don't know. I think I like the new one. The new one's really fucking good. Like it's honestly
it's really good. It's really good.
It's honestly just really, really good. But go watch 5. They're all on HBO Max. My number 5 is Predator Killer of Killers, the animated movie.
I need to see it.
Have you not seen it?
I loved Prey. Prey was unbelievable.
So it's the same director, same writer, same guy.
Okay.
I feel like they've just handed him the keys to the Predator castle, and I don't think they could have given it to anyone better. Because what this movie does, and do you know the premise a little bit?
No. All I know is that it exists, and that I was like, yeah, I'm in.
I'll give you the basic premise. Basic premise is it's kind of set up first as like an anthology kind of movie where you see a predator go into a certain era of time and hunt like humans' greatest warriors. The first part is like a Viking woman. The second part is a samurai. And the third part is like a World War II plane fighter. And you see 3 different predators go out and hunt these people. And then it culminates in a way that is so utterly insanely cool. Not even just for what it is, but what it does for like Predator lore. I cannot wait for you to watch it. And especially if you love Prey, what they set up in this movie is such a big deal for the future of Predator. And we get a live action Predator movie later this year. Like we get an Alien series this year. Like Predator Alien fans are fucking like Romulus came out last year, which was dope. Like we're just like living in the time right now. And I'm a firm believer you're gonna love this because I went in with like, oh, this will be cool and fun. And then after I watched it, being like, holy shit, I did not expect this to lay all of this stuff out for you. Cool. Awesome.
All right.
Can't wait to see where this world
tonight.
goes. And it's only like an hour and a half. It's pretty short, but it's awesome. And the animation is like, I don't know if you've seen Arcane, the Netflix series, but the animation is very similar to that. It's super beautiful. And like, and it is, people are like, oh man, I'm so bummed it's animated. They go so hard in the kills because usually these parts start out with the humans fighting each other, killing each other, and then the predator just swoops in and just starts fucking murking everyone. It's crazy.
Yeah. When the setting is animated, doesn't matter what style you're going for, it is limitless. Like, and that is like what can make like such beautiful animated movies. I am a firm believer that like an animated movie has all the potential in the world to be some of the best shit you've ever seen in your life. So I'm way in. Also, let's keep bringing back those hour and a half movie times. I love a quick hour and a half that just like does it all. And you walk away like wholly satisfied. Is that like kind of a big ask? Because it means you have to condense, like you have to do the work to make that runtime worth it. Sure, I guess. But like we've had a lot of epics in the last like 10 years. Like when I saw Killers of the Flower Moon, amazing movie. My God, it's long. You know, like it's so long. It's amazing. But it, you know, I'm just like, this is my evening. This is it. This is all I got, you know?
Yeah.
So that's just something I'd love to see more. But yeah, I will watch this tonight.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Moving into number 4. Number 4 for me is Thunderbolts, the latest MCU movie for now until Fantastic Four comes out in a few weeks. But
which I'm very excited for.
Oh, I'm so excited. So excited. It's going to be a wild month for movies this month. I'm so amped. But what this movie did was, it took I feel like in a time where Marvel is kind of whatever, how people want to talk about it or whatever, I feel like the ones that have hit the hardest have been the why are we making this thing? And then they end up being the coolest thing ever. Kind of
Absolutely.
like, like Agatha All Along, even maybe Loki. I don't know. People were stoked for Loki, but like stuff like that has kind of been it's been like the coolest things. And here's what happens when you take a team of people who all worked for A24 and they go, hey, I want to make an MCU movie. And this is what happens. It just ends up being a story about depression and purpose and humanity, and ends up being an Avengers movie secretly, which is also really cool.
And Florence Pugh, amazing.
Is just putting on like a masterclass performance of acting in a Marvel movie, which I mean, that's happened before. Like, look at RDJ and Endgame. Like, you're gonna tell me that performance wasn't good? Get out of here. That was great.
It's amazing.
That's good shit.
It's amazing.
But this movie is just great.
I can't wait to see him as Doom. Like, I can't wait.
I'll watch that dude do anything at this point. Like, I think he's proven his merit tenfold at this point in the acting realm for sure. But yeah, and you look at this cast too. It's, like you said, Florence Pugh is leading this movie, and Sebastian Stan's in it, who's also been killing it, getting multiple Golden Globe nominations for different movies and Oscar nominations and stuff like that. Like, the dude's on a run. 1,000%. David Harbour's fun as fuck. Like, what's not to like?
David Harbour's awesome. And honestly, like, it's a bold, and I think it pays off. It's a bold decision to not lean on Sebastian and the Winter Soldier as your lead for this.
For sure.
He's been in for a long time. He's, the villain of debatably the best MCU movie. Just he is a big player, and to not lean on him so hard and be like, we're gonna do Florence, it pays off. It's so good. That was my number 4 as well.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I thought it was really good, and I do agree that it is like a project that is like one of their left field ones. Like, complaints can be made about like how most of these characters are developed in either series or, movies that maybe didn't get like the attention they should have, or maybe their movies were lackluster, whatever you want to say. Right. But it works. It worked. And yeah, I walked away super satisfied.
And now the word on the street is that Jake Schreier, who directed this movie, is going to be the guy directing X-Men, which sign me the fuck up.
Please.
Say less.
Please. Yeah, absolutely.
Especially seeing how he approached this movie. It's been cool to see. I mean, James Gunn always did it because James Gunn's just like a generational talent, especially when it comes to comic book properties. But everything that he does is on the page, and then he just translates it to screen. There's no like, oh, we need to fix this in VFX. Like, the VFX is put there on a purpose. That's why his movies look so much better than most other ones. And this movie took that same approach. Like, a lot of stuff was done practically. He knew where the VFX was going to go, and it's because he came from an indie background. Directed Beef, and stuff like that. Like, so it's I love that we're getting, and it seems like that was very much the case with Fantastic Four. Like, some of the Galactus shots are the actor in a Galactus suit that they made like a miniature city, and he's stomping through and stuff. Like, that stuff is fucking awesome. Like, let's go.
Those things translate. Like, they translate on screen. They resonate more. Like, I know it's like easy to make a bunch of things in Unreal and be like, this is what it's going to look like. This is the thing we're doing. And now we shoot it or whatever. But like, those things translate when someone goes from paper straight to screen with it. And it's not like an entirely like just in post, like, we're check out this Unreal 5 scene that's, 5 minutes long or whatever. They have to do that, give or take, but like they executed on this one. And from everything we've seen with Fantastic Four, just like, it looks like they're going to do it again. And I'll probably end up loving it. So I am totally here for like a resurgence of the franchise and like the universe and everything. Like, I have moments that I think are big lulls in the franchise and everything, but like, I never gave up hope. I just
Right.
want better stuff, and I'm seeing better stuff. So I'm happy about it. And that is why it made number 4.
Exactly. What did you have at number 3?
Number 3, Minecraft movie.
Okay. That's high.
And it is high. I really loved the movie. I just
Yeah, I
thought
can
it was
tell.
I thought it was fun. I thought it was hilarious, and like it's wholesome, and like especially like not being a fan of the game is like something that kind of informs like how much I liked the movie, because like I genuinely did have such a good time, and like seeing it in theaters like while we're on our off day, and we saw it in Mall of America.
Wow.
So like we just had like a really good day leading up to this and everything. And yeah, the movie was just hilarious. I rewatched it at home alone to, check to see if I wasn't just like, I don't know, kind of like bugging about this movie. And I was like, no, this is genuinely awesome. It's, I don't know, the good, clean family movie that like actually hits. Like Jack Black is doing his thing. Jason Momoa steals the show, and he's hilarious. The whole like there's not one line that he delivers, not just like, you son of a bitch, you did it again. It's so good. It's so good. And it's fun, it's inventive. They're not trying to they're not trying to reinvent the wheel. And it was just cool. Set up for a sequel, whatever.
I'm sure it's gonna get one. It made almost $1 billion. So
It's gonna get one. For
yeah,
sure.
for sure gonna get one. You've convinced me I'm gonna watch this movie. Okay, I hope you're happy.
It's awesome. It's
Okay.
awesome.
My number 3 is, speaking of legacy sequels, 28 years later. It just came out.
Yep.
And I know it's strange. I can't call it divisive because people in the weird, I'd like to call it like film Twitter, kind of love this movie, including me. Not to include myself in film Twitter, but
Derogatory.
yeah, I don't know. I did really love this movie, and then kind of like general audience has been mixed for sure. The only criticism I will understand is the last scene of this movie is very out of pocket. Like probably the most out of pocket bookend to a movie I've ever seen in my life. I kind of loved that. Thought it was so fucking wild. But the thing that I like about this movie so much is that in an era, again, like I talked about, all these legacy sequels are predicated in nostalgia and cameos and all that stuff, which is going to come in later movies in this series, in this trilogy of this 28 years later thing that they're working on, which they've already filmed the second one, which geniusly enough comes out 28 weeks after this movie. I thought that was a nice touch. Yeah, I was like, that's amazing. That's great. But like, it's like a story just within the world. It has really nothing to do with the first 2 movies whatsoever, even though there's footage from 28 weeks later interjected in this movie, which I caught. And this is the same thing too. I never watched 28 weeks later. I watched 28 days later. I remember liking it when I was younger. And rewatching it, I was like, this is like a weird movie. Like it's not like your typical zombie movie. It's like a very cerebral type of movie. And I feel like this 28 years is very much of the same, just in a different way. And as I was watching it, my expectations kept getting subverted like numerous times, being like, wow, I didn't think they would go that way. And just the way Danny Boyle, like he changed the game back in 2004 when he filmed a horror movie completely on camcorders. And now he's using these iPhones, getting into smaller spaces. There's this crazy rig where it's like 28 iPhones and it's in this big halo.
I've seen the big rigs.
And the way they use it is like crazy. It's like some Matrix level action shots that are just like, to me, I feel like he changed the game again into, I think, a way people are going to approach shooting horror movies and maybe even action movies. Because a lot of that kind of, it'd be crazy. Like it would shoot a scene and like something would happen like action wise, and then it would like pan around it super fast. It was like, it's kind of jarring, but I was like, I feel like I've never seen anything like this. Like it was one of those moments. And I feel like that doesn't happen a lot nowadays. There's so much media out there and there's so much like history of film and TV and stuff like that. It's hard to like go into something and feel like I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. So that was a really cool aspect. And I just really dug the story. Like it's so funny because I saw it at a press screening too. So I saw it like 3 days earlier or whatever, and people being like, "Oh, don't tell me, but this is how I think it's going to go," and me being like, "That's not how it goes at all."
Yeah,
And Aaron Taylor Johnson's awesome. I think he's an awesome actor anyway. He's just been in
he's
some
great.
bad stuff sometimes.
Yeah,
He's great. The kid is amazing. The kid is he's really the star of the movie, to be honest. And it feels it's so funny because 28 days later, like definitely influenced things like The Last of Us and The Walking Dead. They all came out after the comics and the video game came out after. And now I feel like I've seen the influence and I've seen Alex Garland talk with Neil Druckmann. And I know he's a massive fan of the games and stuff. And I definitely saw some sort of like The Last of Us influence on this movie, kind of in a weird reverse way, but it was really Jodie Comer is incredible as Spike's mother, and Ray Fiennes. He's only in it a little bit, but boy, is that dude a motherfucking scene stealer.
yeah,
And in a role where could come off as comical, he actually has like the most profound lines in the entire movie. And I don't know, like they found a way to build out the lore in the world in the moment in time that it's placed in without being upvert about it. It's a very kind of show, don't tell kind of thing. And that's kind of what the 28 franchise is. Like 28 Days is
yeah,
very much that, it's about the de-evolution of humanity in a world of infection. And that's what The Last of Us is about. It's never about the infected people, it's about the humans. It's what it always boils down to, even in The Walking Dead. Like it's always never about the zombies. It's always about the people,
no,
at least in the best versions of them, and it's about Jim devolving into like this animalistic side of himself. And in this, it's like about like an island that's stuck in time and kind of reverted and seeing how they deal with it and seeing someone kind of break the cycle of this world that doesn't need to be like that. I'm excited to see where it goes. I don't know. It seems like you haven't seen it yet, is what I'm saying.
I am seeing it this weekend actually.
I look forward to hearing your thoughts on it because it has been like, and some people saying the plot doesn't make sense, and I'm like, I don't understand that. And maybe that's just me. I don't know. A lot of people saying it's like tonally imbalanced, and I'm like a very big tone guy. I don't know. Like tone is usually a thing I'm pretty in tune with when it comes to this stuff, and but it's all perception. Art is all perception and everything like that. But usually, tone is usually a thing that bothers me pretty bad. And again, the ending scene, it's fucking out there.
Well, see,
It's
so
really fucking out there.
I have plenty of friends. I've seen opinions back and forth about this from like friends or just random people, and it is very back and forth. And like me personally, I have no expectation of what that is supposed to look like because like we're talking about them coming back to this thing and the setting is 28 years later and I'm just like dude, this could be anything, and that's kind of the best
Yeah.
part. So like I'm just like I'm an open book for this one because and like when it comes to like my expectation or like what I think this is supposed to be, because I think they just chose the perfect setting and the right time for their series to do this. And yeah, I'm just in. So I'm kind of, and I know that the ending takes a hard left and gets weird and stuff. And I'm just like, yeah, I want that. Like whatever, I'm in. So I'm excited to see it. I'm sure it's gonna go pretty high for me by the end of the year because I love a weird movie. But yeah, I'm excited for it.
Hell yeah. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts, good or bad. I like seeing both sides of the coin, to be honest. I'm always fascinated by people's perspective on things.
Yeah.
It's what makes this stuff interesting. You know what I mean? Same with music, with anything you can enjoy. It's always nice to see like where people come from in a certain way. Moving on to number 2, I have The Life of Chuck. It's hard because I feel like a lot of people aren't going to see this movie. It's a neon movie.
I haven't.
It's a Mike Flanagan movie. He wrote the screenplay. It's based on a Stephen King short story, and in a very it's like not a horror story at all. Like, I mean, Mike Flanagan also did Doctor Sleep, which is like a sequel to The Shining, and this is more of,
Which I liked.
it was great. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Ewan McGregor as a grown-up Danny Torrance, awesome. Rebecca Ferguson just
I
being
love Ewan.
dope, awesome. But this one, it's hard because it's like it is a very weird movie because it is kind of about, they tell it in it's a 3-act structure, but it's told in reverse, and you kind of see why by the end of the movie. And it's it starts off about like a movie about the end of the world, and the way they portray the end of the world is like terrifying because I feel like it's like how it actually would go down. Like it's like slowly the internet is working and not working, and people are scared about the internet going down. Certain websites start falling off because like the servers get destroyed or whatever. And they
Sure.
do it in a very, it's not like overt, it's just like conversational how you find out this info. Like California is like disconnecting from the United States. It's like stuff that feels like if the world was actually ending, this is probably what would happen. So that's kind of scary, but it really is just a movie about life and the moments in your life and the people that make up your life. And no matter what you do in that life, no matter how big or small, doesn't define you. And how, even if the things you do are small, or you work an accounting job for your whole life, but you still build a family or whatever, like those things can still be great no matter what level of life you're on. And it's just this really like profound, beautiful exploration of that. It I read the short story too. I kind of forgot a lot of it, to be honest. I read it like a year ago. I remember the main gist of it, but it's just about these like moments in time, and how beautiful that is. It honestly just makes me think about like being involved in music, and like I'm sure a lot of us can relate to it, like how much stuff music has given us, friends, relationships, marriages, just like amazing moments that we often think about. And it's like whether you see a person once in your life, twice in your life, a million times in your life, you kind of always have those things to share with them, even if it's for like a brief moment, and how beautiful that is. And I don't know, it just hit me like a brick wall. I love stuff like that. I love beautiful
Yeah.
kind of explorations of just like that, like existentialist shit. So really, really beautiful movie. If you don't catch it in theaters, I'm sure it'll end up on a streaming service somewhere eventually. I just, whenever you can watch it, I would just recommend it. It's just a beautiful, beautiful movie.
It is one that is on my radar because I did see the initial trailer and I was like, this looks pretty good. So that is definitely one I want to see. And I am excited that she liked it because yeah, that was one I wanted to catch. So I will.
Fuck yeah. What did you have at number 2?
Mickey 17. Robert Pattinson is the director from, Parasite, a bunch of other just amazing, amazing movies. So
Oh,
when I saw that he was going for one with Robert Pattinson as the lead, I was sold already at that point. And then I saw the first trailer and I was like, this is going to be amazing. And I thought it was amazing. And I love Robert in this. I love Robert in general. Like, if he's done anything in the last 5 years, he's shown us like he is a movie star. Like,
for sure.
he can do it all. Like, we're talking The Batman, The Boy and the Heron, this movie, Tenet, The Devil All the Time.
Yeah,
Like, just so many good movies that he's been in the last like 5 years that I think he's a generational actor. And
for sure.
I don't know if everyone regards him as that or if he's gotten those flowers yet, but I love him. And even seeing him play like two different characters in this and like the different tonalities while you're technically playing the same guy was super good. I loved this movie. I loved as well. Why am I forgetting his name? Guy who plays Bruce Banner.
Oh, Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo. Mark Ruffalo. Amazing in this movie. Mark Ruffalo is so
Such a
good in this
psycho.
movie.
He's
Like,
such a psycho.
I knew he was gonna be as soon as I saw him come on screen. Like, he had
Yeah.
like fake teeth and stuff, and I was like, he is gonna be just a huge piece of shit in this movie. And he immediately delivered and was so good at being a piece of shit.
Yep.
And
He
like,
was.
it was so good. I love the aliens. They're cute. And
Aliens are
I knew
cool.
as soon as I saw them, I was like, these guys are not a threat. These guys are awesome.
Right.
And it played out that way. Did the ending go about exactly as I assumed it would by the time I was getting the third act? Totally. But I don't know. I just thought it was so good, super enjoyable. The movie is like funny and depressing. I don't know. It's just so good. And like going from Parasite into this movie and like the very, very different tones that they have,
Super Bowl.
like I just think show like this guy's on a generational run, like
Yeah.
just amazing. And yeah, I loved it. I thought it was awesome. So that was a great time.
I like that movie. I didn't love it. I feel like it's hard because it's obviously a very big social commentary, but I feel like the social commentary was maybe a little too obvious. And maybe that might be my holding on to Parasite of how that's also a very big social commentary, but it's not that
Sure.
obvious. And it also might be totally you're holding on to expectation for Parasite, which just got named or voted the #1 movie of the 21st century in New York Times.
Yeah, I mean,
No small
it
feat.
is really fucking good.
Yeah, that movie's unreal, incredible, and kind of changed the landscape of like Oscar movies, like having a completely foreign film win that many Oscars was such a big deal. I think it paved the way for movies like Everything Everywhere All Once to have a run like it did and stuff like that. So I
Sure.
mean, I feel like
I
it's
agree.
such an important movie for a multitude of reasons. But I mean, I cannot deny that Robert Pattinson was so fun and so weird, and the accents he can make are like so insane. I can't even like fathom it. I'm like, how does he make these noises? It's like actually so crazy. And then Stephen Yeun just being a little shitty weirdo. I
Yeah,
love Stephen Yeun too, so I'll
I do
watch
too.
that dude act in anything. So it was cool to see him just be this weird little shitty guy.
He was in a movie. He was in Beef. Like,
Oh, yep.
just awesome.
He's
I
so
loved
good.
that.
He's
Yeah,
incredible. Okay, #1. What do you got #1?
I'm bending the rules slightly here.
Okay.
This is the fiscal year of 2025. Nosferatu
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I see what you did there. All right. Okay.
came out on Christmas. Like it might as well be a 2025 movie.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's fair.
we're bending the rules a little bit, but amazing movie. I thought it was gorgeous, and everyone just gives an amazing performance. Aaron Taylor Johnson back again in the conversation. Willem Dafoe, what are we talking about? Like,
It's the most Willem Dafoe role of all time.
of all time, this is like, obviously he keeps showing up in these A24 movies. Like he's a fan favorite. He's kind of like how Samuel Jackson keeps showing up in. I get so bad with names in movies
Tarantino?
sometimes. Tarantino keeps showing up in a Tarantino film. Like it's just like that. Or Leo, like he keeps showing up in a Tarantino film. Like
Sure.
things like that. Like that is what Willem Dafoe does here. And I just thought that movie was amazing. Like we got another unbelievable performance from one of the Eggers brothers. Like I love him as Nosferatu. I love
Skarsgård. Yeah, he's a wild.
Did I say Eggers? I meant Skarsgård. My bad.
I know what you meant.
You have another amazing performance from a Skarsgård brother, and like his transformation into Nosferatu is so good. It's so good, and I just loved it. I thought it was beautiful. Saw it Christmas Day, and
I also saw Christmas Day too.
yeah,
With my mom came. That was kind of weird, but mostly she was like, I have no idea what the fuck is going on in that movie.
yeah, sure.
Which was really funny. Admittedly, I did not love that movie. I really liked it. I thought it was well made, beautifully shot. I actually liked the first third of it quite a bit, and then after that, I kind of fell off for me. I think it's mostly Lily Rose Depp. It feels like she's in a completely different movie. We're gonna talk about tone. I feel like she was in a different movie than everyone else. I also feel like Willem Dafoe was in a different movie than everyone else, but that's a very Willem Dafoe thing. He felt like a cartoon character in this movie that I in my opinion, should have felt like very serious and dire and dark. And I don't know. I think like the convulsing and the drooling just didn't work for me, which is fine.
I actually do kind of agree with that scene in particular. I was like,
yeah, I
this
was like,
feels
okay,
a little out of left field.
I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because I felt like everything they had built on top of that was already like good. But that is one scene that I was like, okay.
People came at me pretty hard on Facebook, posting I didn't like it, and they're like, "Oh, you just don't get it. You're not a Robert Eggers fan." So I'm like, I love Robert Eggers.
Yeah, same.
I was like, I think he's awesome. I was like, this is one of my most anticipated movies of the year, and it let me down. I'm like, I'm bummed by this. It's like this is a bummer for me. But no knock to anyone who loved it. Like a lot of people loved it. I think it's ungodly well made. I just think some of the tone within it, and I really didn't like the ending. I thought the ending was actually kind of dumb. Weirdly enough, my number one is also a vampire movie. It's Sinners, the new Ryan
Not
Coogler
weird.
movie.
Not weird. That's a
It's
good
not
one.
weird.
Yeah,
And I
debatably
just
hottest
watched
movie of the summer. You know.
Yeah, I just watched this like 2 days ago. I missed it in theaters, which I'm bummed I missed it in theaters. And I was worried it might get like overhyped, I guess. And watching it, I remember this is kind of my experience watching it. Like the first 20 minutes, I was like, I think this is the coolest score I've ever heard in my entire life. Just this kind of like electric rock blues fusion score. I was like, this is so cool. And then watching it, I'm like, this is a really good movie. I'm enjoying it. And then by the end, I was like, oh, okay, I see what everyone meant. Yeah, this movie's fucking incredible. Holy shit. I couldn't believe it by the end. Like the epilogue ruined me. Just what a fucking cool movie. Like, and what a, I don't know, like vampires has been done so many times, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've seen it throughout our lifetime. And usually they're fucking cool. Like,
Yeah,
9 times out of 10,
I'm gonna like it.
It's going to be pretty dope, at least enjoyable in some way, shape, or form. But the way they handled the vampires in this movie and what their like mission was and how they kind of the hive mind thing, I thought was really cool. And I don't feel like I've seen that done in this way, or at least not a lot prevalent in vampire media. Maybe I'm just like a vampire novice or something, but I really don't remember many things that handled it the way that movie did. And there's a scene in the juke joint where Sammy's playing guitar, and it might be one of the coolest scenes I've ever seen in a movie. It's like so fucking
That
cool.
scene is amazing. That scene
I was like,
just that's cinema.
Yeah, I was like, holy fuck, this is so cool.
Yeah.
The practical effects on the vampires were so cool. Like there's a scene where this vampire is super fucked up and something's like in its head, and I'm like, that looks sick. And the way the one finger is like elongate and stuff, I was like, this is rad.
Yep.
Cool. And they kept some of the classic vampire stuff in there, and I love them kind of figuring out their vampires and stuff like that. I thought it was really cool, like the way they played with those kind of tropes, I guess, or guidelines, or however you want to call it for vampire stuff. But
right, the general
like a lot, some parts really reminded me of Tarantino in this cool way that still felt like new and fresh and different.
I get that vibe.
Yeah, like especially like the when you finally get the context of the Tommy gun scene, I was like, this feels so Tarantino in the coolest way.
Yeah.
Coogler's just that guy, dude. Like, I don't know. Like, I know a lot of his stuff has been kind of IP stuff. He did Creed, which is incredible. He did both Black Panther movies, which are great. This movie, he did this other movie called Fruitvale Station, which admittedly I haven't watched, but
I haven't seen that one either. Yeah,
I've heard it's great also. And just like the dude just put out like all hits, no misses, and it's
also
cool to see.
Commonality, Michael B. Jordan.
I mean, he's like his muse, man. Like you were talking about, like people with Quentin and stuff like that. He's been in every single Coogler movie, everyone.
Yeah, and he's amazing in all of them.
Yeah, and it's hard to pull off the twin thing. That can be very bad.
Yeah,
and
it can.
He killed it. You can totally tell they're different people,
even
though it's the same fucking guy. And I know they invented like new technology for it, because obviously most of it's like a stand-in, but they had this like camera, I think it's called like a halo camera, and it goes around his face and it like maps his face so they can like perfect. He ends up doing both takes, but they do it so you can map your face on it.
Yeah.
And it looks incredible. I could never tell.
Superimpose it onto the other guy kind of thing.
Yeah. It looked amazing. Like, and like there's a video of him explaining, because like when it goes to that scene we were talking about, there's a massive aspect ratio shift and stuff like that. Like it was shot completely on film. Like this dude is that dude, like straight up.
Yeah.
Like it's very cool, and I'm excited. I think he's doing Black Panther 3 next. But if this is what he has in store for like original stories, and I know it was like very connected to his uncle who like grew up in that area and was like a blues musician and stuff like that, which is really cool that it's like rooted in some sense of reality and like lineage to him. And he even made a deal with Warner Brothers where like in 25 years, his family gets the rights to the movie, which is pretty unheard of.
Yeah.
But the story is so special to his family that like he wanted them to like own it, which is like really wild for a major studio to do. So I guess props for that. And if this is what he has in store for, original stuff, like,
yeah, I want more.
Please keep going.
I want more.
Let's go.
I'm dehydrated. Like, please. Like,
yeah, I'm so ready for whatever he's gonna bring to the table. Like, I'm excited what a third Black Panther movie is gonna look like for sure.
same.
The second one knocked me on my ass. I mean, there's obviously like a lot of real life implications that informed that story and made it what it is, and like that's part of why it's so impactful. But that movie is a moving movie. you know?
Post the very, very end, like post credit.
Oh my god, I was bawling my eyes out.
That shit hurt. That shit hurted.
Even the opening scene, I've never heard a movie
The opening
that
scene
quiet
is
in my life.
The opening scene is tough.
All I heard was people like sniffling. That's the only noise you were hearing.
Yeah,
that was wild. You know, seeing that in a packed theater opening night and just silence like that is, whew.
Yeah.
Goddamn. But dude, thank you so much for doing this with me. This is awesome.
Of course. No, I love to talk a flick. I love to consume. I'm not fully caught up in everything I want to consume ever. So that's like kind of the best part about like talking with people and like talking about the stuff that they're into, because like, you know, there are some things I'm like, maybe I'll get around to it. There's things I miss, you know, and like maybe I find later, whatever. But like, I love it. I love it.
That's awesome. I same. I love to hear it. And it is also, it's always an ongoing list of things to catch up on. I don't think anyone has ever caught up.
It never ends. It never ends.
Never. And that's the beauty of it. It's depressing and beautiful at the same time, because you're like, man, I'll never be caught up. But at the same time, you've never run out of shit to watch.
That's right.
Which is cool. That's a cool thing to have. But before we out here, plug what you got going on. Let the people know where they can find you in the world of Psychoframe and Church Tongue.
So I have a Psychoframe tour coming up. It starts July 25th in Asbury Park, New Jersey, and we will be on tour across America until August 24th. And that's with Boundaries, Stick to Your Guns, and Gates to Hell. And then shortly after that, I have a Church Tongue tour also here in the States. That starts September 4th in Knoxville, Tennessee. And we're going to end in September 14th on Kansas City. Shorter one, but we work with what we got. You know, we got a couple moving parts with that band. So we make it work where we can. Some of those have been on TV a few times. So, but yeah, that's what we're doing. And in the meantime, I will be gaming and watching stuff up until I go do those things, and somewhere in between on off days or whatever.
Love that. Yeah, I'll make sure to link down Psychoframe and Church Tongue links down below. So if you're living under a rock for some reason and haven't checked them out, go check them out. Just stop what you're doing now and go and do that. And if you want to support the podcast, smellclearance.com, all our links there in one easy place. And if you want to follow me on my personal account, it's just at SeanXMod on Instagram and Twitter. And until next time, see you later, nerds.